everyone, welcome to Gosport Railworks. My name is James and today we're doing another beginner tutorial. This time we're showing you how, I'll be showing you how to add trees and also add other foliage to your layout. And this is actually the last time I'm going to be using my tutorial board, because after this I need to make a new one to show you what else I need, the other things which I want to show you. So yes, last time we'll be using this. And trees. If you want to be, the easiest way to add trees, you could just basically buy them, because you can just get packs of trees. It is the most expensive way to get trees if you want to make large amounts of them, but if you're not all that good at making trees, just buy them. You can still get cheaper packs of them, and you can also buy very nicely made trees as well. However, do expect to pay the costs. So I'm only going to be adding the one, because I don't want to really waste these, because I'm going to be using them for a different layout. So let's just add the one, and let's just pop it. I tend to use a 1-inch nail. I think that's 1 inch. Looks about 1 inch, and I tend to use that to poke into the ground. Well, I say ground, into the terrain, and make a little hole to stick in the tree. I'm also going to be using UHU glue, because I am being a bit lazy. I would actually recommend using something like PVA and let it dry slowly, but yes, I'd rather it dry quickly. So yes, there's our first tree. Now the other three types of trees I want to show you, but first of all, these two first. This is I want to say a puffball tree. This is made by using teddy bear fluff. I've got a small bag of teddy bear fluff, and you basically spray paint this green, then roll it around in some scatter really. I'll be showing you how to do that in a moment, after this one. This one is using the Woodland Scenics Forest Canopy set. This is actually a rather nice way. It does look fairly realistic, but it is a bit messy, and the little twigs which you get inside do smell a bit. Here we go. This is what you start off with. This is a multi-scale method, so yeah, you do get things this big. We won't be needing that much for end gauge, so let me just pick off a few of them. Pick off some which look roughly like a tree. That'll probably do. I do know you can also use something like seafoam. However, I've not used it, so I won't be showing you how to do it with seafoam. But it's basically the same method. You basically get something like this, and then get a water glue mix or the Woodland Scenic stuff. Dunk that all in there. Unfortunately, I've used a small pot, so I have to try and get that in there. So it's really coated in glue, and just really roll it around in the roll it around is a bit, unfortunately did pick some rather large trees to start off with. So I'm just scooping it all in. You can get trees this big. To make sure you get it absolutely everywhere. And yeah, we now have a tree. We'll just set that to aside to dry while we do the other ones. You can use stuff like, this is the normal mixed green. I say scatter, no, I could call it a flock and stuff like that, but can use something like, rough ground or whatever it is. I've got some over here. That's not it, that's brown. I'll find it in a moment. But it's that stuff which you rough turf or something like that. I think you can use it with this, but I've not used it myself. I've just used scatter because I've had tons of this stuff and it lasts for ages really. If you're not just throwing it all down the bin half the time. Yeah, I think that'll do. You may want to. I want to say you may want to do a few coats, but I'm not entirely sure how that will work with this. You might be able to do that. It might just be because since I've not got a very deep pot of glue, it's not getting everywhere where I want it to. And the only problem with using this stuff is that it's very brittle, as I've just broken a bit off there. So yeah, don't worry about if you really want something like this big and expect it to be perfect. Yeah. It's probably way too big, so that's probably a bit better. So I have a treeist to me, so I'm going to let that dry. Probably we'll go trying to coat some more of this. You may need to seal this or just break off a bit so it don't look as good. And yeah, it is a bit messy, so it doesn't look too bad. I think I may need to use a thicker glue mix next time. I'm used to making PVA, so it's normally 50-50, so I'd recommend adding a bit more glue in it just to make everything work better. And yeah, just where should we put our forest? Right, make sure I can find that again. And yeah, as always, use something probably not UHU glue for sticking these in. And yeah, if you want to seal stuff like this, including the grass, which I've got to mention last time, hairspray. Hairspray will work. From what I've been told anyway, I keep forgetting to seal all my stuff in. Alright, we need to make sure it's a fairly large hole. That should be enough. And make sure we get enough glue around the base just to hold everything in. Technically this is still drying, but never mind. There we go. And yeah, like I said, these types of trees are very delicate. My first layout, the one which I actually used these with, of Renham Downs, yeah, I broke them all the time. Very annoying. But yeah, if you have put a few trees close together and they can somewhat support each other. Also has a very nice effect. Try and find that hole again. There it is. And go. And yeah, that's these little woodland scenics, whatever types of trees these are. I haven't got many of them because yeah, also not entirely sure what they're made out of, but they are technically well, they are used to be real life, well, living plants. So I'm assuming it's some sort of flower dried and then stuck in a box and sold to silly people like us. Let's do one more. Also, I would recommend getting little dishes like this. This is from curry or takeaway meals or ready meals, stuff like that. Very good pots to have. Just keep adding more till you feel like you've got enough. And also add to the bottom. Try and soak in the glue from the bottom as well. Then take off the bits that's broken. There we go. And that's a nice tree. But yeah, if you want to make smaller trees, do have a bit of practice of using smaller bits of this stuff. Where's my nail gone? There it is. And we'll just we'll add one more over here. Here's the paper mache side, so this will be easy to punch through. There we go. And we've got a nice cluster of trees. And yeah, these puffball ones, I want to say they're what Luke Towan has sewn. He's another YouTuber, much more popular than I am, and he does extremely nice terrain and stuff like that. His dioramas and landscapes are absolutely second to none, and I would recommend watching his videos. But this is something based off what he has done. So yeah, I'm going to go away and go into the kitchen because I need to go outside to use the spray paint. So I'll actually show you me spray painting them, but I'm going to refill and clean up this lot first. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, here we are downstairs, and I've got my teddy bear fluff all picked out. Also scrunched it up into 5 little balls because I'm only going to be making 5 trees. So it's basically get the teddy bear fluff, have it on something to just so you don't get paint completely covered all over your fingers, but just on the off chance, wear gloves, and yeah, just spray paint it. So I'll see you in a sec while I just spray paint it. Should be able to still hear me, got to give it a nice wet coat. And yeah, just dunk it in like that. And yeah, again, try and coat it completely evenly and not get the dry ones covered. Yeah, and you basically have something just like that. Hope you can see it because I haven't got the light down here. So yeah, I'm going to do the same thing with all these ones, and I'll bring you back upstairs when yeah, when everything's all dry and I've got all these covered in flock or scatter, however you feel like calling it. So yeah, I'll see you in a sec. Right, here we are with the puffball trees. I end up making 6 because one of them was a little bit too large. And yeah, it's basically after you roll them around in the scatter and all that lot quite a few times, you'll end up with little balls like this. And for the most part, they look fairly decent. However, they do need trunks, and yeah, you can just basically get some twigs or something like that, and then use them as scatter. Well, not as trunks. So yeah, get some twigs. This is probably a bit too big. I'll be using that for something else. But things like about this size, maybe. These are basically end offcuts from the from these type of trees. So I like to make use of everything. And once more, I'll be using something which I probably shouldn't be doing by using UHC glue, and put a little blob on the end, get a puffball, and just ram that all the way inside. And there we go. And once again, let that dry. It doesn't take too long. And yeah, just continue with the process till you get a load of trees. So yeah, there we go, and make sure we do have a good squeeze down on the end, just so that the glue gets everywhere, really. Alright, I'm going to try and do this quickly, just so that I'm not boring anybody, if I haven't done so already. So you'll still end up with bits of scatter trying to come off, so do be careful. And I need some more. Actually, I'll just go with what I've got. So yeah, you end up with your trees pretty much like this, and then we add them like all the other trees by sticking a nail in. Make sure it's got a big enough hole. Glue around where we want it to be. And you just pop that in there. So yeah, I'm going to add the rest of those trees, while also trying to find some more twigs, and I'll bring you back once everything has properly dried. So I'll see you in a sec. Right, here we are with everything all stuck into the test board, well, not test board, tutorial board. Getting things mixed up, and yeah, I've also used some of the leftover twigs and stuff like that to use as fallen logs, if you want to. That is right way, just to add a little bit of variety to the tutorial board. But yes, the last type of tree I just want to show you is the also Woodland Scenics product, but these are the tree armatures. That's what they're called. And it's basically plastic trees, but without any of the foliage. And it's basically, you make these yourself after, well, basically, they come as a base piece, and also the actual tree itself. This I just don't actually use for much other than holding the trees up, waiting for glue. And you just bend them into the shape you want. And let's try and make a bit of variety here. There we go. And then use hobby tack, which is like PVA, but it's a lot more tackier. If it gets anywhere, it will stay tacky for quite a long time, actually. Which is ideally what we want to use on these tree armatures. The only problem is it does take a while to dry to where you can actually stick all the stuff on. So just probably a bit too much there. Just coat where you want the greenery. I actually prefer using these types of trees now, because first of all you get a load of them in a pack, depending what pack size you get. I buy I've only bought the one type, but yeah, you can get about 100 and, how big is this pack? 100 and something. And yeah, they all come in various sizes, like you can see here. And you just coat them with hobby tack. I have tried PVA and it does not work. So yes, this is where you do need to buy the actual name brand, because it actually works. And yeah, you coat it in hobby tack, and then you let it to start setting, where it becomes clear, like this one. Unfortunately, these I have added a bit too much on, but yeah, it becomes clear like this, and it's very, very tacky. And like this, it's starting to stick to me. Then use clump foliage. I'll be using a light green because I want to add a bit more variety to the forest. And it's basically, you get your clump foliage. I'll put these two over here. Ooh. I said, very tacky, and you get stuck on everything. There we go. Wipe on the floor, no one will notice. But yes, you just get your clump foliage and you just pinch it on where you want it. So you surround it, pinch it, and it should stay there for the most part. Sometimes where the glue hasn't quite reached in the spots, you do start getting things falling off, which is what happened on my normal layout, my large layout of Gosport. Plus that was the first time I've used them. But compared to the rest, this is mostly, I say, relatively not as messy. That's it. And then you do the usual thing of just poke a hole in, glue it in, and then it's pretty much the same as all the other ones really. So yeah, I'm going to get to putting all these ones in, and also wait for all the other stuff to dry, and then I'll show you the last bit where just basically adding bushes and just adding extra bits just to make your layout look that much more fancier really. So yeah, I'll see you after I've done all these trees. So I'll see you in a bit. Right, here we are with all the trees now in place. This one, none of them have fallen over. No, they all look alright. And basically the final bit now is, one thing which I did forget to mention, is the tree architecture, the wooden ceilings tree armatures, that's what I meant to say. They can come in various other varieties. You can get pine, these are deciduous ones, and I think there's another one I can't quite remember at the moment, but you can get them in different shapes and stuff like that. And yeah, like I said, the final bit now is basically adding some bushes, and this just helps bring out detail. Well, basically looks more realistic, in my opinion anyway. Mostly depends where you're modelling, but in the UK we have loads of bushes and hedgerows and stuff like that. I'm only going to do a few here and there. So I'm just going to put a big hedge along here. I am using PVA now because it just seeps in where I want it. Much easier than the UHU, yes, UHU glue. And just add variety. I'm using different colour of clump foliage. And the other material which I was on about earlier for these types of trees is the coarse turf, which is like the scatter, but it's a bit more thicker, I think. Something like that anyway. hedges, you just want to follow where you would naturally see hedges, and normally you'd see them everywhere, but the fields and stuff like that, they do tend to follow the outline of the field. Right. You see them lining across here. Trying to make this video not all that long either. It's probably been on for quite a long while now already. So I'll just quickly add some bristles here and there. You can mix and match bristles all in the same row. I'm just not doing it just because it's a lot easier. But yeah, you'd normally find bristles in various species in the same hedgerow. Heads over here. Some of these trees aren't quite glued in properly. And we'll try and put one. I've added far too much glue into this pot. You can also normally find trees around bases of, not trees, bushes around the bases of trees. Trees normally just sprout up from the hedges and stuff like that, or the hedges just go around the trees. So I'll try and do something like that. Just look, the spot's looking a bit bold, so that's from the strand of UHU. It's the only problem with UHU is that it leaves strands everywhere. So if I was doing this properly, I'd take my time, but I'll just do now. Doing this, you often will take up some of the grass, depending on how well you stuck it down. I've just noticed a spider walking all over my bloody excuse my language. Just noticed a spider walking all over the tutorial board. Got wildlife. Come on, off you go. Explore some other greenery, well, fake greenery. Normally I have to get rid of the spiders in my house. My mum's not all that keen on spiders, so yes, the rule is they can stay outside. Unfortunately, well, as soon as they come inside, it's my job to get rid of them. Normally just throw them out the window. It's only a tiny spider, nobody knows. yeah. Doesn't look too bad. I think that looks much better. And just the cover. So you can put some around the tree. Probably better to use coarse turf, but that involves something in a new bag, and I really don't want to waste some. So I'll just use some hedges. There we go. And yeah, that is the tutorial board finished with. And to be honest, it doesn't look all that bad, considering that it's just a board designed, well, to say you lot how to do stuff. Unfortunately, it does not come with wildlife, as with spiders, unless you happen to have spiders wandering around. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much it for this tutorial. Next one, I'll be doing stuff about point motors. So yes, I have to make a new board because this one's not quite built the right way just to do that. So yeah, I'll be starting off a new board, and I'll put this somewhere. This could be a nice little diorama. I might build it as a proper diorama. A little bold spot there. That was the only problem with me doing this. I ended up seeing spots which I could have fixed. There we go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I hope to see you again next time. So yeah, hope you enjoy your day. Take care now, and I'll see you again. Bye bye now. Oh, and do remember to do all that other stuff which YouTube lets you do. I always forget. Oh well, take care.